Hey everyone, Erin here, and I'm pretty sure you recognize who's standing next to me here, Jim Putnam from Horttube. Thank you for coming to my garden for a second time.
Thank you so much. It's been like 2 years or something.
Yeah,
since we've been up here.
It's crazy. So
yeah.
We shot some videos for Jim's channel as well, so you'll be seeing the two of us around a little bit here. But I was going to wanted to take the opportunity, since I have you in the garden, to pick your brain about a few things.
Sure.
Well, first of all, do check out Jim's channel, Horttube.
Thank you. Yeah, it's about 7 or 8 years old now. Yeah. A lot of videos.
Lots and lots of videos.
Right.
He's got playlists for everything. It's a great source of information.
Thank
you.
In
particular, I think your weekly Q&As are just like primo. People write in questions and you answer them very succinctly. You're very good at answering questions very quickly and getting to the point. I sometimes blab on a little too long.
I blab on too. There are a couple. I'm sure there's some people out there going, "No, Jim blabs on."
Yeah.
right.
No, I think they're great. So
thank you.
You have been traveling a
ton.
ton.
We have been
lately.
traveling.
So tell me a little bit about your travels this summer.
Right. Well, just this. Well, we were
spring and summer.
Right. We were lucky enough to go over to Europe. We are lucky enough to be able to travel to do this and talk about plants. And so we talk about plants. We wake up and talk about plants, and so that's kind of our thing. We stick around the house a lot in the spring because we do an open garden event where people come to the garden, and as soon as that's over, we kind of we try to hit the road some. And we spent 2 weeks in Europe. We went to Iceland and the Netherlands and Belgium and visited gardens there, visited friends there as well. Went to, and now we're on the road. We've been on the road for 3 weeks as of tomorrow, and we're going to be on the road for a while. And we're visiting gardens, visiting this garden, this beautiful garden, and you guys have seen on Erin's channel. And you want highlights?
Well, that's what we're going to get to here.
Okay, gotcha.
So what I would like to know is maybe, I'm not going to have you pick favorites.
Okay, gotcha.
But why don't you tell me maybe, like, I'm sure some of these gardens you went to, perhaps some of these were sort of like, I can't believe I'm in this garden kind of spots. So tell me about some of those, or one of those at least.
Well, I would say in Europe, my favorite one from this particular trip, again, we've seen quite a few gardens, but from this particular trip, I had not been to Trompenberg, which is in Rotterdam. And that garden was probably one of the first gardens in years where I stopped at, like, I'd walk 10 feet and stop, walk 10 feet and stop. I could have stayed at that garden. We had like 3 or 4 hours. I could have stayed there for 2 days, probably. That garden has a lot of North American native plants that were brought to that garden 150 years ago.
Wow.
And they put the signs on everything when it was planted.
Yeah.
And so they have like a giant sequoia that's big. It's 150-year-old giant sequoia in this garden in the Netherlands. And it's 1870 something on the tag. And I'm thinking, so what was the United States like in the 1870s, post-Civil War, the gold rush and everything else is going on, and there's this person toting cones out of Colorado and California and Oregon and Washington to take back to, I just think about how that timing of that worked. But these 150-year-old specimens of our North American native plants that were stunning.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
You are an admitted plant collector.
Yes.
I am a bit of one as well.
Yeah.
Not quite to the degree you are.
Right.
So I'm sure you saw some plants along the way that you were like, I really, really, really want that plant. Whether you can grow them or not, like what plants did you see along the way that have you sort of lusting after them?
It's mostly conifers. And then when you go to some place like Iceland or, in that part of Iceland is much warmer than you think it is. It doesn't get as cold, but then they have super short days, so it limits them to mostly Arctic plants. So but when you get down to the Netherlands, where it's zone 8A or 8B in Boskop, so there's a town called Boskop in the Netherlands. It has at one time had 1,000 nurseries, the entire town. So I encourage everyone, pull up Google Maps, search for Boskop, Netherlands, let it come up, and then turn on the satellite, and then go in close, because it's just literally nurseries. The entire town is nurseries. And so that was a super fun place to visit. But they can grow, they're more like Portland in that they can grow all the conifers that I would want to grow in my garden, but I can't grow in Raleigh. And they can grow all the temperate plants that, all the leafy evergreen things. and they can grow all the things that you can grow up here in Wisconsin that need a little bit more chill hours, because it does stay darker longer there. And so, like, I'm looking at this place going, they literally can grow everything, and it's a peat bog.
Yeah.
You know, so they can grow all the, all the blueberries
Right.
and anything else you can think of.
Right.
So that place it wasn't so much about a plant as it was like, I want a garden where I can literally just grow every conifer, every perennial, every whatever.
Yeah.
I grow it all. Yeah, that's the garden I want. And it's in the middle of the Netherlands. Right.
What about a garden that that really surprised you, or a space that really surprised you because you didn't realize that was sort of lurking out there, or what that was, or what that was going to be?
So just this past week, we went to the Holden Arboretum in Cleveland. It's a little east. It's a little east of Cleveland. So the Holden and the Cleveland Botanic Garden they're managed together.
Yeah.
But the Cleveland Botanic Garden is kind of near downtown, and then Holden is outside of it. Sometimes when it's Arboretum, and it's 3,500 acres like that. Your thing is, you're just going to go stand in trees in grassy fields or whatever. And that place they have probably, of that 3,500 acres, they have a lot of it is really detailed, beautiful gardens. And they had this really cool thing where they had all the hedging. They had this giant circle, and they had hedging plants in this giant circle where they had planted 5 or 6 of everything and then hedged them off, so people could get an idea of anything that they could think of that they could use as a hedging plant, and how it would look and what size it can be maintained. I was like, that was pretty cool. And then I would say the other thing there is the trend we're seeing in all gardens across the world, which is we still have formal spaces. So people are using boxwoods, and they're using, formal plants, yews and things like that. But we're seeing a rewilding of the world.
And so you're seeing that.
It's everywhere
that you've traveled.
Everywhere. It doesn't matter what garden we go to. It can be the most formal garden you can go to.
Yeah.
There's some prairie. We were at Winter Thur around Philadelphia, and they have acres and acres and acres that they've let rewild.
Yeah.
So it's goldenrod. We were there at peak goldenrod, and so there was this field that was just solid yellow, 10 acres.
Yeah.
Of just solid yellow, with the asters coming soon after that. So we're seeing that which is good.
Yeah.
It's good. So we have these formal garden spaces, but then this native. Why are we mowing that?
Right.
Yeah. Why are we mowing that?
Right.
Yeah.
You have been in the horticultural business for how long?
40 years.
40 years.
Yes.
So in 40 years, just quickly talk me through where you've seen things go from 40 years ago. I mean, do you feel like, in addition to this rewilding thing, do you feel like people who are buying plants know more about plants now, or do you feel like it's still a mix? And where do you think gardeners are at, average?
I think people are probably more disconnected from it than they were then. I think we may have had. I think generation over generation, we've been removed from farms, and we've been removed from our grandmothers babysitting us, and those kinds of things. I think that people had a contact with gardening maybe a little bit more in the past. So there may have been slightly more knowledge, I think, maybe 40 years ago in the general person shopping for plants, but they were only shopping for what I would call Meatball City, which is plants that I don't want to do any maintenance.
Right.
And so I'm just putting in little, I'm trying to solve a problem. What 3 plants will solve that problem? And then I'm out of here.
Right.
And so that's kind of gone.
Right.
So we've seen, and then again, like we're saying, the trend though for gardeners is definitely kind of rewilding a bit, and having more native plants or more things for pollinators. That's definitely. And I think that thing's here to stay. But I think on an individual basis, are people more knowledgeable than they were? The individual customer coming to a garden center may actually be a little less overall knowledgeable, just where they're starting out from.
Sure.
Because they just did. I mean, if I told them carrots grow on a tree, there's some possibility that some portion of the people are going to, believe that, because we don't have that life experience. I think we were more connected. I think our starting point was better 2 generations ago than it is now.
Tell me about where you got
what you're looking forward to, because you've got some interesting places that you're heading off to from
we
here
do.
yet. So tell me about some of that.
We've made it here. We went up and went to New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, and then we went again. We started our friends in Philadelphia. I don't know if you've been to Longwood?
Yes.
Okay, so you've been to Longwood. So there's 56 gardens or something and around that Philadelphia area.
It's the heart of gardening.
It is. And I say this to people and they're like, Philadelphia?
Yeah.
And no, that Wilmington, Philadelphia area is definitely the center point.
Yep.
So we went there, and from here we're heading out toward the Portland area. So Boring, Oregon, it's not boring at all, is right there beside Portland. And a lot of nursery operations are there. So we're luckily going to Schmidt. I've never been to Schmidt. Schmidt's one of the biggest tree growers, tree introducers. If we go and people are trialing trees, they're involved in it in some way or another. And we're going to Isley, which is,
But you've been to before. You've got some videos.
We do. We have some stuff from Isley.
In which we get to see Jim just lust after conifers.
Right, that I can't grow in Raleigh. Yeah, that I can't grow in Raleigh. And we're going to Buckholz. So, and we're hopefully filming with Talon. Good. So that's on my list to film with Talon. And then we're ultimately making it around. I'm speaking at the National Japanese Maple Society meeting, and so that's where we're heading.
What do you think about the weather here in October?
I'm in shorts, as always. Then people are going to go, well, he'd be in shorts no matter what.
Yeah.
Because this is what I always wear. This was my outfit as the 9th grade.
Yeah,
and it remains my adult outfit as well. But yeah, it's warm.
Yeah, it is.
It's very warm. I was hoping to run the heat some while we were here. We were traveling in a van, and I was hoping to run the heat, and no, it's been warm everywhere we've been.
Yeah.
I took 93 degrees to the Netherlands, so I've taken 90. I mean, everywhere I go, it's overly warm. It's been dry here, right?
It's been dry. Yeah.
So it was dry. Yeah. It's been dry in Raleigh as well.
Yeah. And really, I worry about dry at this time of the year,
right?
Because I don't want things going in. I don't want things going into winter stressed. So this is the time of year when I'm going to start. I mean, perennials I'm not worried about this time of year. They're going to be done and whatever, they'll be fine. But trees and shrubs I worry about this time of year. So I will start watering with intent more than I have been unless we start getting some rain here soon. Yeah,
and we did a Q&A for my channel with Erin on things for up here, and then we talked about that afterwards, so it's not in my video she just said, but it's literally super important that your plants don't go to sleep super stressed, because they're not going to, like a mild winter could all of a sudden become a problem with stressed plants.
Yeah, exactly. I mentioned that you do this weekly Q&A on your channel where your viewers ask questions.
Yes.
What is the number one question that you get, do you think? Because I know you don't, because you try not to repeat the same questions.
I try not to, but it's just, yes.
Week, I know.
Well, I said I could call the channel either Wood Chips with Jim Putnam. So there's a wood chip thing, and I, years ago, started talking about it. Others started talking about it, and, now everybody's, we put down this much wood chips to start a garden and then walk away and let the wood chips break down over time. But there's a lot of paranoia around piling wood around a house or piling whatever. And so a lot of questions around that. But I could also call the channel Red Buds with Jim Putnam.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. People love red buds. They're native native understory trees. But they plant them in the middle of their front lawn in the full sun and wonder why they're underperforming or they're whatever. There's 100 problems with them so again, I get red buds probably at the top of the list of questions that I get every week.
Well,
2-3
you also
questions.
stand in front of a beautiful red bud for half of your
I
Q&A.
do, so I'm selling.
You're kind of asking for that. Yeah. Wait, tell me again, what is the name of that red bud that you the weeping
Golden
one?
Falls.
Yeah, Golden Falls.
Golden Falls.
Beautiful weeping. Well, Jim, thank you so much for coming. You guys, please check out Jim's channel if you don't know it. He's been doing the gardening YouTube thing for ages, so he has an amazing playlist to answer all of your questions beyond just red buds and wood chips.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, thanks for coming,
Appreciate
Jim.
it. Thanks, Erin.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.